Here it is. Can you see my screen? It is visible to everybody. Okay, fine. So now people, please pay attention here. So once again, good evening to everyone. So in the last class, we started with the next peripheral, which is nothing but the tactile switch. So basically, we saw that either tactile switch we can connect this way, which is nothing but the pull-up resistor circuit, or you can connect the tactile switch this way, like a pull-down, right? And we discuss even about the triggering methods or bouncing effect also we discuss. Now people, let's write a code for what to for the tactile key, how to read it. Even if you want to take the action as a level triggered or the age trigger, let me write a program for that. Okay, so now people, so whatever onboard circuit we are having or whatever keys you are able to see in this board, all these keys are connected in which circuit? How the onboard circuit is there with respect to keys? So onboard circuit is there. That circuit is nothing but the pull-up. How it is, how the connections are done in case of these switches, whatever you are able to see here, all are the pull-up. So people, if hardware is designed in pull-up manner, then do we have to worry about the pull-down interface? Do we have to worry about the pull-down interface? Do we have to worry about the pull-up resistor circuit? No, right? Can you please answer my question, guys? Quiz and all we will talk at the end. Can you please answer my question, everybody? No, right? So here two types of connection, either pull up or the pull down. So onboard circuit is nothing but this pull up. So we have to focus on that. So whatever onboard switches are there, those are connected like this. So because we can't change this connection, so let's focus on the pull up. Now let me talk about the let me talk about the triggering methods. Now first what we will do, we will talk about the level triggering first. So what type of triggering methods are there? So either you have a level triggering or you have a age triggering. Am I right? Yes or no? So let's talk about the level triggering method. Now people, if I talk about the level triggering method, so on board, if I have a if I have a if I have a connection as a pull-up resistor circuit, then my question is, which level we will detect on switch press, people? Which level I'm going to detect on switch press? If I have a pull-up resistor circuit, don't you think there is going to be high level or low level? What do you think on switch press? Okay, let's see here. See here. So what you have, let's say this is your microcontroller pin. So a lot of microcontroller switches, lot of microcontroller pins are there. So you can consider, see here, let's say RB0, RB1, RB2. Okay, let's consider this RB3, this switch. You can take any connection. So let me go ahead with this switch RB3. Okay. So now people, you see here. So what happened to this switch? Let's assume your pull-up resistor circuit is there. Now let's say this is the switch. Okay. And let's assume this is nothing but the uh, pull-up interface, and you can see here the switch is connected. Fine. Okay, one end of the switch is grounded, other end of the switch, let's assume, connected to the microcontroller pin here. Fine. And this is nothing but the VDD, VCC, or the 5 volt, whichever thing you want to refer it. Fine. So where I'm saying it is connected to the RB3, or you take RB0, whatever it is. So here, if you see a lot of switches are there, or let me do one thing. To start with, let me go with the RB0 just to avoid unnecessary confusion. Fine, let's say it is RB0. That means which key it is? That means the key is nothing but the this one, RB0. Fine. Okay, now this switch, I'm talking about this switch. Now I have a question. Are you able to understand this diagram? Don't you think it is pull-up resistor circuit, right? Yes or no? So what happened, people? What happened? So here, as you press the switch, current is flowing towards the ground. And what will be the signal in this case? Yeah, hello. Yeah, what will be the signals here? When switch is open, okay, you can see here. When your switch is open, what will be the signal? 1. Am I right? Yesterday's circuit it is, okay. I'm very bad in drawing. Please forgive me for that. When switch is open, what will be the signal? So you will be having the VDD here, right? 5 volt, correct? Yes or no? And as soon as what happened, the switch is pressed, entire current will flow towards the ground. And what will be the signal here? It will be 0. On switch open it will be 1, and on switch press it will be 0. Am I right? So it is matching with whatever table we maintain for our reference, right? When switch is open it is 1, switch is closed it is 0. So how you can remember either it is pull up or pull down? See, when switch is open, if it is pulling up, then it's a pull up. Okay, now let's assume this pin RB0. Let's say I'm connecting to the CRO. Okay, so what will be the signal on CRO? What signal it will show on the CRO? So let's say on switch open, what will be the signal? If user is not pressing any switch, what will be the signal on the CRO? It will be high, it will be 1. Am I right? Yes, it talk in terms of digital signal, so it will be 1. Let's say there is no switch press, so CRO will display the signal 1, something like this. Okay, fine. Now let's say at this point what I did, I just pressed the switch. At some time X I pressed the switch. So as soon as you press the switch, what happened? As we discussed, current is flowing towards the ground and you will be getting here 0. So immediately as soon as you press the switch, signal becomes 0. So what your CRO will show? It will show the signal 0, right? Okay, so what you are doing? So you, at this point, what you did, you press the switch. And people, let's say you kept this switch pressed for the longer duration. Okay, so here let me say at this point what you did, you did the switch press. Let's say let me give the name to this switch as a SW. Fine. So what you did, you press the switch. Fine. Now what is next? Here you press the switch, and let's assume people, you kept this switch pressed for, let's say, entire 1000 milliseconds. So don't you think throughout the switch press, don't you think throughout the switch press current is going to flow towards the ground? And throughout the switch press, don't you think sure you are going to read the signal or RB0 as a 0 itself? Are you agree? So it doesn't matter for how much time you are pressing the switch. If you kept it pressed, current is flowing towards the ground and you will be reading the signal as a 0. So what signal CRO will show? It will keep showing the 0. Okay, now let's assume what I did. I pressed this switch, let's say, for the longer duration. So let's assume for the entire duration of the 1000 milliseconds. What I did, I kept my switcher pressed. Fine. Now what happened? So this time, in this entire duration of the 1000 millisecond, I kept this press switch. Then what about the signal? It will be 0. What about the level you are getting? Low level, correct? And as soon as I release the switch, now let's say here at this point I'm releasing the switch. People, as soon as I release the switch, what happened with the signal? As soon as I release the switch, what happened with the signal? Don't you think don't you think immediately it will become 1? So no current is going to flow towards the ground, so immediately RB0 value is going to be what? It will be 1. Agree everybody? So what happened with the signal? It will be high, it will be 1. So my simple question to you people, if I'm talking for the pull-up resistor circuit, if I'm working on the level, as soon as switch is released, it will be 1. So in case of pull-up resistor circuit, okay, or let me complete this waveform first. Now let's say again, after some time, again here I pressed my switch. what happened with the signal? As soon as you press, it will be low, right? Now my question to you people, let's say this is my pull-up resistor circuit, and on switch press, what level are we detecting? What is the level on switch press? What will be the level on the switch press? High or low? See the diagram and answer in terms of high or low level. It is going to be low level. Agree? On switch press, you see here clearly low level. So fine. In case of pull up, it's low level. So whenever you press the switch, throughout the low level, you have to take the action. Now let me talk about this action about the this level triggering. Okay, let me give you the example. Guys, you all are what? Watching the TV at your home, right? Let me take the example of the TV remote control. Fine. So in that TV remote control, let me take the example of the up volume key. Okay. So people. So okay. So what up volume key or the switch, whatever it is. Now guys, see here. At your home, we all are having the TV, right? Smart TV or at least normal TV is also there, correct? So on that remote control, whatever remote control of TV is there is a volume button, right? Either up or either there is option to increase the volume or to decrease the volume, up or down switch. Yes or no, everybody? Now let's assume I pressed this switch. I as a user, I pressed this volume button. Okay, and I kept that switch pressed for the longer duration. Let's say for the entire 1000 millisecond, I'm keeping that switch pressed. Your TV is on. I press the volume key of the remote control of volume key. What happened, people? What will be the action? Mute. Only Baba, why it will be mute if you are increasing the volume? I don't understand. Are you agree with Bhumika? Guys, don't you think it will increase the volume till it reaches to the maximum limit? Come on, I'm asking simple activity which you are doing in your daily life, right? Yes or no? So it will increase the volume till it reaches to the maximum. So simply, can I say volume plus plus will happen till it reaches to its maximum limit if you kept it pressed. Agree? Now. So I have a simple question. This action, what is your action here? Volume. You have to increment the volume. This is your action. Now my simple question to everybody. So don't you think here throughout the switch press, how TV will blast? Oh, your maximum limit is what? Okay, let me not go in that detail. Leave it. So volume will be incremented. Still, it reaches to the maximum. Fine. Now, question is, don't you think this action is taken throughout the switch press? Whatever volume increment is there, that action is taken throughout the switch press? Yes or no? So I will say, let's say whatever volume key is there, it is in the manner of pull-up resistor circuit. So whenever you press the switch, you will be getting the low level, and throughout the level action will be taken, volume will be incremented. Fine. Now let's write the program for the level triggering method. Okay, so everybody pay attention. I'm writing a code for the level triggering. Okay, now let's assume this is my main function. So you have to do the initialization and all these things. Now guys, let's say this is my main. Let's say this is my init config function. For what? To do the initialization. For a moment, keep it aside the initialization. So here I will be saying that if user press switch, if key is pressed, we have to take the action. So what is my comment? Comment is if switch is pressed, we will be taking the action. What will be action? We will see that. But how to say user press the switch? So what will be the condition in the program? Pay attention here. So this is your switch which is connected to the RB0. So how are we going to say that switch is pressed by the user? Everybody, how are we going to say that switch is pressed by the user? What will be the condition on the switch press? Come on, waveform and all, everything is there in front of you. Zero. Who will be zero or who will be one? Who will be zero or who will be one? see here. Let me give the name to switch as a SW. If user press the switch, what will be the condition? Come on. Whatever literally you are able to see, you have to answer that. See here. As soon as this is the waveform of whose. Are you able to see the whose waveform on the CRO? Come on. If I press the switch, current is flowing towards the ground. And who will fall down to zero? This microcontroller pin RB0. Do you understand? So in the software, see on the hardware or whatever board you are having, in that board, easily you are able to see the switch, right? Here is the switch. What name I given to that switch? Name of the switch is, let's say, SW. I'm given that name, fine. So you can see clearly now, right now, from the board, let me know whether the switch is pressed. No. Now let's say now I'm pressing the switch. Yes, it is pressed. So clearly you can see and you can tell whether the switch is pressed or not. But in the software, in the program, how are you going to say switch is pressed? Based on the value of RB0, isn't it? So what will be the condition? If your pin RB0 is what? Equal to 0. What is that means? That means user has pressed the switch, right? See the waveform also, not SW, Baba, it's RB0. So we'll see the waveform also. When user press the switch, it will be 0, right? Okay, so when switch is pressed, RB0, microcontroller pin is the RB0, right? So just like a LED, see, in case of LED, you were writing LED equal to 0. No, no, you were writing what? Regarding the that wherever the microcontroller pins connected to the LED. So instead of LED here, you are having the switch. So when user press the switch, what happened? RB0 will fall down to 0. Yes or no? So this will be the condition. Now, what we will be doing? What we will be doing? Now, here, let's take the action. So what action we will do? We will take the action of toggling the LED. So let's say you have a LED. Let me take that LED one. Let's say I'm defining this LED as a RD0 or RD0. We will do that later. Let's say initially my LED is off. Let's take the action. What is the action? Action is nothing but the toggling of the LED. Since single bit it is, let me say LED1 not equal to LED1. Fine. Okay. So what you are doing? You are taking the action here. This will be your action toggling of LED. So in case of remote control, what about the action we discussed? Volume increment. So instead of incrementing the volume, instead of doing volume plus plus in our program, what we are doing? Toggling the LED. Simple code, understood? If user press the switch, it will check the condition. If it is true, it will toggle the LED. Otherwise, it will not. Now let's see this. Let's see this by putting the practical test case whether it is working or not. See, initially, are we pressing the switch? Initially, guys, are we pressing the switch? Is the switch pressed initially? No, there is no switch press, right? Okay, fine. So what happens? So if there is no switch press, are we going to take the action? Are we going to toggle the LED when switch is not pressed? No. See the program, how it is working. So from, oh, and I just missed one small thing. You have to correct me now. So this is my action I have to take. And where I will be taking this action? Don't you think I just missed my infinite loop since I'm running the embedded program, right? Let's say I'm doing the initialization. Here I will be calling init config function, and action must have to take where? Your application code you have to write under the while one. Am I right? So here is my while one. Okay. So I will be writing this code inside the while one super loop. Now you see this initialization is done. So initially let's say it is kept as 0. Now let's see when we will be taking the action when switch is pressed. So people, if there is no switch press, let's say what is the value of RB0? If user is not pressing the switch, it is nothing but the 1. So control will come to the while one, it will check this condition. If there is a no switch press, what about the condition? If there is no switch press, condition is true or false. RB0 is 1. So this condition fails. So will it go inside the block? No. And it will also not toggle the LED. So again, since it is while one, it will keep coming again and again to the while one. Again, it will check the condition of the while one. It remain true. It remain true. Then again, it will check the block condition. If no switch is pressed, condition will be false and it will not toggle the LED. Am I right? Fine. So see, throughout the switch release condition, throughout switch is not pressed, what is the LED value? Whatever is the initial value, either it is on or off, it will be same. Let's say it is off. Let's say it is 0. So let me put it here. So throughout the switch release, it will be 0. Now pay attention. Now here I pressed my switch. Okay, and one more assumption. Let's have one more assumption. To check this switch press, or you want to toggle the LED to take this action or to execute this in block. Let's assume this code is taking around 100 milliseconds. Just a scenarios of the time so that you can give me the answer. So to do the execution of this if block and to toggle the LED, how much time my code is taking? 100 milliseconds. Assume. Now let's say at this point user press the switch. So as soon as switch is pressed, what happened? Immediately current is flowing towards the ground, and what will be the signal at the RB0? It is going to be 0. Am I right? So control will come here. It will check the condition. So here I pressed my switch and it is a long switch press. I will keep this switch press for how much time? For around 1000 milliseconds. Okay, now see here. So here I'm coming here. So what is this condition? When user press this switch, what about the condition? It is true or it is false? Obviously RB0 is 0. So this condition RB0 equal to 0, it is true. So it will go inside, toggle the LED. What was the last LED value? We noted here. It was 0. So it will become 1. So it become 1. So people, how much time is covered? To check the condition and to toggle the LED, how much time is completed? How much time this E block is taking to take this action? Around 100 milliseconds, right? Now you can see here, to do this toggling, let's assume up to this point, it covered how much time? Around 100 milliseconds. Fine. Still your switch is kept pressed, right? Still your switch is kept pressed. Now again, second time, okay, you're coming again to this. Since it is while one, condition remain true. Second time again you're coming here. So what about the condition? When second time you are coming here, what about the switch? Still you kept the switch pressed. So RB0 remains 0 only. So this condition will be true. So again you are going inside, toggling the LED. So what will be the LED value? It was 1, it become 0. Whatever was the previous value, it is toggle. So don't you think to take this action, it will complete next 100 milliseconds, right? But still switch is pressed. We are pressing it how much time? 1000 milliseconds. Okay. Then again, third time you're going here. Again, what about the condition when you are going third time? Switch is still pressed, right? Just 200 milliseconds are over. When third time you're going, what about this condition? Still it is true. Then again it will toggle the LED. So like this way, my question to everybody. So in case of this code, if I press the switch for 1000 millisecond, then it will toggle my LED for how much time? For how many time actually? 10 time? Making sense? Yes, very good, Kusuma. Right, everybody? 10 times, because 100,000 divided by 100 is 10 now. So around 10 times this loop will be executed when switch is pressed. So it will do the toggling 1 0 like this one. After every 100 milliseconds, what it will do? It will do the toggling 1 0 1 0, then 0 1, then 0, then 1 and 0. Fine, understood? So fine. So here at this point, after 10th time, so at this point what we did, we released the switch. Okay, so this was the last value of the LED when we release. So when on release, are we toggling the LED? Obviously no. So release means what? It become 1, right? Release means what? It become 1. So we are going to toggle the LED on release? Obviously no. So whatever was the last value, it will remain same. This condition is not true, it won't toggle. Then again later, you press the switch here again. And as soon as you press the switch, you can see low level is detected and it will keep toggling it. Now my question is, are we taking the action of switch press throughout the level? Are we taking the action of switch press throughout the level? Do we? Just like throughout the switch press, how volume is incremented, are we toggling the LED? Action, what is my action? LED toggling. Are we toggling the LED? Of course, we are toggling it. How can you say no? Don't you see here LED values are changing? Don't you see it was 0? So when you press the switch at this point, this condition is true. Control will go inside, not of LED 1. If it is 0, it will become 1. Action is taken, then it will be 1, right? Then 100 millisecond time is over. Then second time you are going here, still switch is pressed. Then a condition is true. Then again you are toggling the LED, it becomes 0. So like this way, don't you see here throughout the switch press we are changing the LED value 1010, we are toggling the LED, we are taking the action, right? Yes or no? And since I'm toggling just a single bit, that's why I use this not operator. If you have a multiple bit, in the last case, we were changing the 8 bits. We were toggling the port B in the last class. Now see here. So if I'm using, see in the last class, you had this port B equal to 0xFF or whatever is the 0 value. So if I'm using what? For basics, guys, I hope you attended the C classes very properly, attentively you attended, and even you are implementing that practically also. Now see, instead of this tilde operator, if I'm using not, what happened here? Let's say I did in the while one, what, like this. I have a question, why we are using the not operator, why not tilde operator here? So this we done, right? This is your question, correct? Now let's see here. So what is the value of port B? It's a true as per this. Okay, it's a 0 means true. So control will come here, port B equal to not of port B. So what it is? It is just a 1. Don't you think not of 0 is just a 1? It is true. Sorry, 0 means false. Okay. So, or let's say 0 only. Let me not again create a confusion. So it is 0. So when you are going and you are doing not of 0, what it will be? Not of 0, what it will be? Just a 1. How not operator is working, you understood. Then again, since you are in the while one, again you are coming here next time. So port B is 1. Not of 1 is how much it is? How much is the not of 1? 0. So don't you think you will be toggling just 1 and 0? This is the expected in the last case. Yes, it's a Boolean operator. It is expected in the last case. No, you have to change entire 8 bits. If it is 0x00, you have to change with 0xFF, means all 8. 0x00, like 0xFF. Am I right? Yes or no? So that's why what we need, tilde operator, complement. Making sense? But here I'm using just the LED one. So might be here I'm defining here hash define my LED one. Let's say RB0, let's say RD0. Fine, just a single bit. So instead of entire 8 bits, my plan is what? To toggle just a single LED, single bit, not entire port B. So I will be doing LED1, which is nothing but the RD0 equal to not of LED1. So what happened in this case? So what is the value of LED1 initially? LED1 is nothing but the 0 initially I said. So what happened, people? Are we achieving our aim? See here, this bit is 0. So when I'm toggling, it will become 1. Not of 0 is nothing but 1. Again in the next iteration, not of 1 is 0, then 1, then 0. So are we toggling the single bit? You can, Jayashree, but what is the need of this? We have a not operator. Keep the thing simple. You try this. You do this experiment, whatever you are saying after the class. Fine. Shakil, I got literally thousands of messages. It's not possible to go back and check your answer. So what you are saying, you please post it again. I'm sorry, I just missed it while explaining the concept. Fine. Okay, now let me go here again and let me ask you once again. So are we taking the action? I mean, action is my LED toggling. So are we toggling the LED throughout the switch press? Do we? This program is toggling the LED throughout the switch press or throughout the low level. This program is toggling the LED. Yes, it is toggling. Yes, it is working. Right? Understood? Fine. Okay. Yes, throughout this on switch press, what is the level? Low level. So what is happening here? Throughout the low level, this code, this program is toggling my LED. Fine. Now, I have a next question. Let's now be done with the level triggering. Since we are having the low level, we discuss that. Fine. So we discuss about the level triggering. So what is another triggering method? What is another triggering method, people? Age triggering. Now let's discuss about the age triggering. Fine. Pay attention, everybody. Let me do the changes here. So instead of level, we will be discussing about the age triggering. So this is level triggering code is simple. It is done. Now let's discuss the about the age triggering. So now first question. Okay. So if it is pull-up resistor circuit, guys, if it is pull-up resistor circuit, what type of age we are detecting? Raising age or the falling age? Think, everybody, and please answer. What type of age? Now we done with the level. We are not discussing the level anymore. So let me erase that part. So by that time, can you please answer my question? Falling age, raising age, whatever your answer, please feel free to answer. Don't worry about whether it is right or whether it is wrong. Fine. So I'm getting the mixed answers. Okay. So always whatever I'm talking on the switch press, not on the switch release. Okay. See here. Now initially, now same circuit, same thing. So initially, people, when user is not pressing the switch, what about the signal on the CRO? The same thing. Now we are talking with respect to age triggering. So initially, says waveform is going to be same. Now, just a second. Let me just erase this so I can explain all the things in the link. Just a second. Chalo, pay attention here. So let's say this is pull-up circuit. When switch is not pressed, what will be the signal? It will be high. And as soon as user press the switch, what happened? Current will fall down to zero. And RB on the RB0, this you are detecting the signal zero. So this line will fall down to zero. So on switch press, are we able to see? We are detecting the age. Which age? Falling age. Here I pressed my switch. What age I got? Don't you think it is changing from high level to the low level? So signal was high before the switch press. As soon as I press the switch, it is falling down to zero or falling down to low level. So what age it is? Falling age, not a raising age. If it is anybody saying the raising age, please correct it. Fine. Now again, when I release the switch, okay, when I release the switch, what happens? Signal will become 1 from the low. So here you are getting the raising edge, but we are not interested in the switch release. Why? Because action will be taken only on the switch press, right? Now let's say second time here, again I press the switch. Don't you think again signal will fall down to zero from high level to the low level? So what will be the age here? Obviously it is going to be falling age. So most of you answered correctly. Fine. Now people. So this now here I have a question with single switch press. Okay. Let's assume I am pressing the switch. Okay. You just pay attention on what I'm saying. Okay. Now let's say if I press this switch here and I kept the switch pressed for the longer duration, let's say for the 1000 milliseconds. So my question is, throughout the switch press, how many edges are we detecting? If I'm working on the edge, basically how many falling edges are we detecting throughout the switch press? Throughout the single switch press. Even if you are doing for the longer time, 1000 millisecond, 1 millisecond to one single switch press, how many edges we are detecting? Even if you keep pressing the switch for the 5 minutes, but on single switch press, how many edges you are able to see? Come on, whatever you see, literally answer that. See how many edges you are getting here. Just a single edge, right? You're detecting the one edge, and even next time, even oh, see, don't. Why answer is 1000 millisecond? Why answer is 10? Na. You're not getting my question. Let me make the things again simple. Let me. Those who are saying one, absolutely right. No problem. Pay attention what I'm saying. So follow this yellow color highlighter. So right now, is there any switches press? Everybody, right now, is there any switches press? No. So signal is nothing but the high. Now let's say now I'm pressing the switch like this way. Switch is pressed. As soon as you press the switch, current is flowing towards the ground and signal is going to be 0. So like this way, from high it is changing to the low. So and it will be low. So what age I got here? So right now I pressed switch, not yet released. I kept it pressed, not yet released. So what age I got? Falling age, right? Now let's see for the longer time, let's say let's leave it this 1000 millisecond answer. If you feel confused, let's say 1 minute, literally for the 1 minute I kept this switch press. So there is no doubt if for the even for the 1 minute like this way, your duration is even 1 minute. So throughout the switch press it will be low level, but I'm not talking about the level. So it will, this will become keep, this will be low only. But how many edges you got with single switch press? Go ahead with that yellow color highlighter. How many edges you got with the single switch press? Though you are pressing for the longer duration also, how many edges you are able to see on single switch press? Understood now? Why Vigneshwar? Why still two? Don't you see just a one edge I got here on one switch press, right? Now, next time again here I release my switch. Okay, see here, I release the switch, no switch press. As soon as, okay, here I got the one edge on the first switch press, so here I release, it will be raising edge or signal become high. Now again next time if I press the switch, again signal will fall down to 0, and again throughout this next switch press only one edge is detected. Understood? Clear? Fine. So I hope everybody is clear. Now since if I'm working on the edge triggering, so if I'm taking the action on the edge, let's say since it is pull up, let me see if I'm taking the action on the falling edge, how time how many times I have to take the action on the single switch press? Multiple times like a level. What do you think? With the single switch press, how many times I have to take the action if I'm working on the age triggering program? How many ages you are able to see? That many times. On the single switch press, how many ages you are able to see? That many times. So correct answer is one time. You should take the action one time. Now see, let me give you the example which is talking about the age triggering. Let's go with the remote control only. So people, so on remote control, usually you will see the power switch, power key, right? If I'm not wrong, I means on an average, on every remote control there is a red power button is there. Am I right? red button is there, correct? Now let's say, let me create a scenario to give you the example. Let's say your TV is on right now. It is on. You're watching the TV. Now let's say you have some work, so you wanted to turn it off, but you press the switch. Okay, on your remote control, you press the power button, power switch you pressed, and you kept it pressed for the longer duration. What happened? Your TV is going to toggle between on, off, on, off. It is going to toggle like this way. Toggling will happen just like how volume is incremented. If you didn't try this even in your childhood also, na, you try it now. After the session, you try how it will work. It is going to toggle means off or no. So don't you think even if you kept the switch pressed, if it is on, it will become off. It will be turned off. Agree? Just a one time action is taken, right? If it was on, if you kept the power button, power key pressed even for the longer duration, it will become off. Agree? Yes or no? So how many time action is taking? How many time the switch is taking the action? So this switch is designed on the age trigger, age. So how many time action is taken? Only once. Because you are getting on a single switch press, you are getting the single age. Okay, now my question to all of you, can I use the same code which I written for the level triggering, for the age triggering? Can we use the same code? Thanks, Shakil. So can I use the same code for the age triggering? What do you think? I'm not talking, see, Madhavish, we are talking about the action. Leave that LED. LED is not action in case of remote control. Action is what? Main purpose of the power switch is what? To turn it off, to turn it on, right? Let's focus on that. So my question is now, so can we use the same program for the age triggering? Obviously, if your answer is we cannot, it's a correct answer. See why? Because don't you, as we discussed, let's say when switch is pressed, we are taking the action, it is taking time of 100 milliseconds, and let's say switch is pressed for the 1000 milliseconds. So don't you think what happened here? LED will be toggled continuously. Now let's say you kept your switch pressed like this way. Initially, if LED is 0, it will become 1. Then again for the next 100 millisecond, it will be 0. So 1 0 1 0. Don't you think action is taken multiple times, not only once? Agree? So as per this, what happened? As per this, what should happen? If your LED is 0 initially, for the next iteration, means when user press the switch, what happened? What happened? It should toggle the LED only once throughout the single switch press. You're getting it? So people have a minute and see, there is no doubt throughout the switch press, this pin is going to be 0. There is no doubt. So we have to do adjustment in our code. So we have to write a code such a way that though switch is pressed for the longer duration, we have to take the action only once. And this while loop is compulsory, Baba. You are writing the embedded system code. So application you have to write under the while one only. Once your system is started, it is not going to stop. Embedded system, right? Chalo then. What changes we can do? Okay, you think about it. So I will give you one solution right now. You think about it. So we have to do the adjustment in our software program which we are writing. What I will do? Let me take one variable. Let's just say kind of flag variable. Let me take the variable once. Just okay. So initially keep the value of this variable as a 1. Fine. So what I'm doing? I'm keeping the value of this variable as a 1. Pay attention, everybody. And let me put here along with the RB0 equal to 0 logical and I'm writing the ones here. I'm putting the variable as a ones here. Fine. Okay. Then inside this, I'm initializing the ones with the 0 again. Now see this program, whether it will toggle the LED only one time, whether it is taking the action only once or not. Follow this code, everybody. See here. Initially LED is 0. Fine. Let's say here is the LED 0, and you're coming inside the code, and there is no switch press LED here. So if switch is not pressed, RB0 will be 1. So first condition is not true. It is false. So in the logical AND, it is going to check the next condition? No. So it will directly come out of this if block. Again, it will go to the while one. So it keep checking the condition. RB0 will keep remain the one if no switch is pressed. Now let's say here, and it will not be taking the action. Okay, now let's see here. I pressed my switch. So now I am coming to this if block. I'm coming to this if block. Now let's say this first condition, as soon as I press the switch, current is flowing towards the ground, and what happened, RB0 is going to be 0. So there is no doubt the first condition will be what? True. What happened? So this condition is true. RB0 equal to 0, this condition is true. Then logical AND. So it will go inside, and what it will do? It will check the, I'm sorry, this condition is true, it's logical AND. So it will, first condition is true, it will go to the next condition. What is the value of this variable once, people? What is the value of the variable once? It is true or it is false? It is non-zero value. That means it is true. It is true. So true, I'm so sorry. True and with true. What is the result of this operation? It's going to be true. If both are true, then only and is true. So control will go inside, toggling the LED. Fine. So control will go inside and it will toggle the LED. LED was 0. It is becoming 1. Okay. And again, once variable, it is making 0. So let's say around 1000 milliseconds are over. Fine. And let's say around 100 milliseconds are over, not 1000. Now if you see here 100 milliseconds are over, again you are going here while one. While one means condition is true always. This while one will loop is running infinitely. So again it is going to this while one to check the condition. Obviously it is true. Then it will come to the if block for the second time. Okay. And what about the switch? Still switch is pressed. Let's say here 100 milliseconds are over, still switch is pressed. So what about the first condition? It is true, there is no doubt. Throughout the switch press, current is flowing toward the ground, it is 0. But what about the second condition, people? What about the second condition? What is the value of variable once? It's a 0, na? We made it 0 in the previous iteration. 0 means what? False. So true and with false. What it is? False. Will it go inside then? Correct, Madhvish. That's what the logic. So will it go inside if it is false? Obviously no. So if block condition will be false. So it will not go here and it will not toggle the LED. So now see, though you kept the switch pressed throughout for long duration, it will keep coming here. First condition will remain true, but since the second condition is false, it is 0, it will not toggle the LED. So my simple question to everybody, within a single switch press, since by putting this variable once, I'm limiting the action here by one time. So now again my question is, within a single switch press, this each triggering program toggling the LED or taking the action how many time? How many time? Only one time. Understood? Okay, only once. But one small issue is there. So this program will work only if you press the switch for the first time. Otherwise it won't. Now let's say here you release the switch. Now when you release, whatever was the last LED value, it will remain same. You are not toggling because this condition failed. Now next time, let's say here again I am pressing the switch. Now again you are getting the falling edge. So you have to what? You have to what? Again you press the switch. Again edge is detected. You have to take the action. But when you are coming here, so second time you press the switch, The current is flowing towards the ground, there is no doubt. So this will be 0. So first condition is true. But what about the second condition? What about the second condition? Don't you think once is still 0? We never updated. The second condition is 0, means it is false. So it is not taking the action. It should take the action. But since we didn't updated the variable once, so it is not working after the first switch press. It is not working. So what we should do? So don't you think we have to update this variable uh, somewhere? Don't you think we have to make this variable as a 1? Yes, we have. But here issue is what? This throughout the switch press, can we update the variable once as a 1 again? No. Because if you updated this variable as a 1, both the condition become true, you will be taking the action. So when to update this variable? So to avoid that, can I update the variable once with the value true or the 1 on the switch release? Yeah, yes, we can do that. So let me update the variable when user release the switch. You can see here. Now let me go to the uh, else part. Let me write else if. So what will be the condition when switch is released? How to say switch is released? Everybody? Hmm. How are we going to say switch is released? What will be the condition for the switch release? What is the value of RB0? It is going to be RB0 equal to 1. Then what we will be doing? We will be changing the variable once. With what value? With the value 1. Right? That's it. We are done. We are ready with the code. Let me just update here. Let me write else if my switch is in the release state, RB0 will be 1, then that time what we will be doing? We are updating what? My variable once with the true value 1. And you can see here. So due to that, what happened? Due to that, what happened? See here. So second time. So here you updated when switch is released, once will be 1. The second time when you are going here, so this will be true, this will be true, and again action will be taken one time, and again when you release the switch, that time only variable is updated with the true. So this is what the each triggering program. Understood everybody? So by using this variable, we are limiting the action only for the one time. Fine. So now to make it more clear, so let me show you the output of this. Fine, everybody. Now, so already now, guys, to already we created some template code and we kept those template code ready. So where those template codes are available? Those template codes are available in the uh, LMS. So everybody, please download those data, whatever is provided in the LMS, and keep those template code ready for your reference. Fine. So now let me open the 1 plus plus y to do, Baba. Just you have to make the true. Not just 1 is enough. Why to do the plus plus? Why unnecessarily ask compiler to do the execution? Right? No need of that. Fine. Okay, so what I will do, I have to show you the programs, right? Just a second. So I hope you downloaded the material and you kept it ready. Everybody, I hope so. Done everybody and downloaded the codes and kept it ready. Okay, if it is not, you do it. Fine. Okay, so now you have a program of level detection and the age detection codes are there. Fine. So now let me open those program. Now people, if you created any project, okay, if you created any project and kept it ready, how to open already existing project. So this is the option to open it. You click here or go to the file and select on the open project. So now whichever project you want to open, you have to navigate to that directory. Okay, so here if you ask me, under this microcontroller internship, here is the code level detection. So first talk about the level detection. So I'm opening this project. Okay, and if you see under my project list, some another project is also there, which I don't want. If you want to, you close this project only from this list without deleting it. So how you can do? Just do the right click. I'm not deleting that project, so I'm just closing from my project window just to avoid unnecessary confusion. Now let's see here. I already wrote the code and kept it ready. Fine. Let me go to the main.c. Okay, so it's opening now. See here. So now, okay, so let's see the initialization init config. So people, now my question to all of you, so we are using which led here? Led1. Okay, so what is the initialization with respect to led1? See, I defined few macros. So led1, I'm using the rd0. So I'm defining led1 as rd0. And what is the bit to give the direction with respect to rd0? trisd0, right? So here I will be writing led1 data direction register as a trisd0. Fine. So what is the direction for the led pin? We have to set the direction as a output. So I'm putting this bit as a 0. And then people, to start with, I'm writing my led1 as a 0. So I'm keeping my led as a off to start with. Fine. Okay, now after that, what about the spin direction, guys? What about the spin direction? Is my microcontroller giving any input outside? Let's say this pin is pin of the microcontroller. So this fellow, it is giving anything outside? No. In fact, don't you think it is taking the signal from the outside? Either 1 or either 0. If switch is not pressed, it is reading the VDD here 1. If switch is pressed, it is reading the signal 0 here. Don't you think it is taking the signal from outside peripheral input to the microcontroller? So what will be the pin direction? Input, right? So the condition is going to be input. It's taking the input from the outside peripheral. So always condition, we are talking uh, in terms of microcontroller. So you can see here. So switch 1, I'm defining here instead of directly using the RB0. So which switch we are talking? RB0, right? So I'm defining the macro as a switch 1 equal to switch 1 as RB0. And what is the data direction bit for the RB0? It is trisb0. By using the trisb0, I'm putting the 1. So trisb0 will be 1. So this pin is going to be input. Fine. Let me go to the program. So what is my code is doing? So if you see my program, I'm writing here. If my switch 1 equal to pressed. Now if you see again, pressed I'm defining as a 0. So basically what condition I'm writing? I'm writing if my, okay, switch 1 is defined as what? RB0 is equal to 0. What I'm doing? Toggling the LED. That's what we discussed. And it's written in the infinite loop. That's what we discussed in case of level triggering. Yes, no? This is the same code we discussed, correct? Or let me show you that code. Let me just a second. Yeah, here it is. Are you able to see the program, guys? Level triggering. If RB0 is 0, we are toggling the LED. So same code, initialization we done now. So if user press this key, what I'm doing? I'm toggling the LED. If RB0 equals 0, toggling it. But people, inside the while one, how many lines of code is there? Inside the while one, how many lines of code is there? Bhupender, just a few minutes back, I have explained that concept. I hope you're paying attention. You go through the later through this recording. Just a few minutes back, we explained this, right? You go through it. Now see here. Even if how many lines of code is there? Just 2-3 lines. So even if it is toggling, are we able to see that toggling? Are we able to capture that toggling? Don't you think it will happen at very faster rate due to the persistence of vision? We humans, are we able to see that toggling? No. So to see the toggling clearly, what we need? To see the toggling clearly, what we need some delay. Let me write a for loop delay. See here. So let me write unsigned integer, or let me use the long int. Fine. So let me write delay variable. Let me define the value as 1 lakh, and let me decrement. Let me write the condition. If my delay greater than 0, then only do the decrement. Simple for loop, and usually this pattern we are using. So inside this loop nothing is there, so just my compiler microcontroller will be busy in executing this, and by that time we will see the toggling. So this just you can close here by using semicolon when and the same. Let's see the output. Let's see whether the entire switch press it is taking the action or not. Just click here, do the right click, do the build. If it is not happening properly, if you are getting some defunct kind of file, do the build from here, no problem. So in my case it is done, build is successful, but X file is not yet loaded. Now it is loaded. Fine. Okay, then how to load the X file here? So here is my PiximLab. All things are set. Board is selected, microcontroller is selected, frequency is 20 megahertz. So now we are using port DLED. So I have to pull this up, right? Since I'm using the port DLED. And rest are the switches I don't care, I'm not using. Fine. So let me load the X file. So how to load the X file? You have to navigate to the directory wherever, at least in the folder where the code is stored, right? So now let me go here. So I know the path where it is stored. Yeah, I'm directly jumping here. You can see the level detection, distribute, then default, production. Here, let me do the open. Ruchir, entire code is provided in the LMS. Everything is provided. You check it. Fine. Okay, but if you see, guys, so actually this is previous code kept this LEDs off. So do we have to worry about the rest other LEDs, 7 LEDs? Are we programming these 7 LEDs? Are we programming it? No. Are we programming? No, right? We are just programming the first LED. But still, just to avoid the confusion, you want to keep all the port D LED off, you do it. So simply here, I'm writing my port D equal to 0x00. But don't you think you have to give the direction to the entire port D? Because here you just given the direction as output to only RD0. So let me write matrix D itself as a 0. Fine. Okay. So let me do the build now. I'm doing the right click and I'm doing the build. So build is happening. Just wait. Since I updated the code, I have to update my header file too. I'm sorry, hex file too. So I did the build. Build is successful means hex file is created successfully. I updated the same project, so I will be just doing reload last. Now see, what is the initial value of the LED? Focus on the LED one. What is the initial value of it? It's nothing but the 0. So are you able to see? LED is off. Are you able to see? LED is off. So am I pressing the switch one? This is your switch one. Am I pressing the switch one right now? Am I pressing the switch one right now? No. So it is taking the action. Is my code, whatever written here, it is taking the action when switch is not pressed. If switch is not pressed, this condition is not true. It won't go inside and it will not toggle. So are we taking the action on the board? Are you able to see the same thing, whatever we discussed? It is not taking the action. Now let me start pressing the switch. See here, I'm pressing the switch. Observe. I am still kept the switch pressed. So as soon as I start pressing the switch, low level is detected. And guys, are we able to see throughout the switch press? My LED is toggling. Throughout the switch press, my LED is toggling. So let me release that. If I release whatever was the last value of the LED, it will be remain as it is. As soon as I release, it won't take any action. Let me start pressing it again. Throughout the switch press, action is taken again. Understood? This is about the level triggering. So let me open the code for the age triggering. So let me close this files. Okay, now let me go to the age triggering. So after the age triggering output, you will get more clarity. So how to open the project? Either click here or go to the file and do the open project. So here is the code of the age triggering. So one thing is there, people. So instead of saying the age triggering, I'm referring the term here state change, because always at the exact time we are not detecting the age. So just here we are referring the term as what? We are referring the term as a state change in case of age triggering. State change means what? Uh, Okay, state change means what? It is changing the state from high to low when switch is pressed. Okay, now see here, see the program. So here is the age trigger or the state change code. Let me go to the main. So same initialization, and are you able to see literally same code? Switch 1 equal to press means what? RB0 equal to 0, and variable ones which is 1 initially, toggling the LED, making the variable 0. And on switch release means what? Whenever RB0 is equal to 1, making the ones as a 1. So let me even show you the macros here. See here, press means 0, release means 1, and switch 1 is RB0. So it is the same code which we discussed here. Right, everybody? Okay, now let me do the build and let me show you the output. So let me go here and now make sure you're doing the build of which code. So here, even while doing the build, you please select properly you're doing the build of which program, state change or the level trigger. Okay, or if you want to avoid the confusion, you can even close the previous code if you don't want confusion. So how to close that? Just right click and do the close. I'm just closing from this MPLAB XID. I'm not deleting it. Right now, let me do the build. So I'm doing the build. Okay, build is successful, loading completed. Let me load the hex file now. I'm sorry. So let me go to the load hex. Here it is, state change detection, age triggering code, distribute, default, production, my hex file. Let me do the open. See here. Am I pressing the switch? No, it is not taking the action. Now, let me start pressing my switch. Here it is. Now observe, switch is still pressed. Observe, LED was 0, LED was off, it become on, and literally still I kept the switch pressed. So how many times our code is taking the action? How many times are you able to see LEDs toggle? How many time action is taken? Just only once. Agree? Because literally now also switch is pressed. As soon as even I release, no action. Whatever was the last value, it remain as it is. Now let's see, second time I press the switch. See, LED was on, it become off. How many time action is taken throughout the switch press? In case of age trigger, in case of state change, only once. Understood the difference, guys? But in case of level, let me show you the output once again by loading the level detection. Already build is done, already X file is ready. Let me load it once again. See here. So if I keep it pressed, it is taking the action throughout the level. So understood this course, age triggered and level triggered, everybody? Clear, everyone? Okay, fine. So Divya, so can you please post the screenshot of whatever output message you are getting, exact screenshot, in the LMS, in the discussion forum? Can you please load it? So for me it will be easy to read that and it will be easy to go ahead. So once you do one thing, try creating the project once again, creating the steps one more time. So this is about the age triggering and this is about the level triggering. So if you want people, you take a snapshot of this, it will be helpful. Fine. Okay, so if you have any queries, let me know. Before that, let me have an announcement. Many of you are saying that quiz from the starting. Yes, with respect to this microcontroller, which I started from the D1. So based on that, you will be having the test for this week test. Okay, it will be, I think, test 2. So whatever we studied in this entire week from the last Friday to still today, or just in that previous week. So I will add even syllabus also. So the test will be there. So I will activate the test tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? 9th September. So test will be open from 9th September. Yeah, test or quiz, whatever you said. Let me update from 9 a.m. and it will be there from 9th September to Sunday, 10th of September. It will be open. Fine, everybody. And I will keep it open till 8 p.m. Is this okay? Marxi Zoshi, as I said earlier, I hope you are attending the classes regularly. So whatever test mark, quiz marks are there, we are opening those at the end. At the end of your internship, entire result you will get it. Fine. While when you keep it, Yonashri, if you want, to put other conditions, other loops, you use it, but you have to write the application code inside this while one. Since it's a embedded application, you have to do it. Yeah, Rishi, throughout the day, match will not be there. Then write the quiz tomorrow on 9th. If you have that much priority for the this one match, then you write the exam on the 9th. Not a big deal, right? Surely you can do that. Okay, now one very important thing. So see, thing is what? Yeah, it's a small test. Okay. Now thing is what, guys? First thing, don't miss this exam. First thing, don't miss this exam. Why? Because once you missed, it's not possible to reopen for us. We are not reopening it. So once you missed it, you missed it. But your performance will be evaluated based on the all the tests. So unless and until there is very, very, very urgency, or I don't know whatever, and if you are not able to attend due to some another situation, that's fine. But don't miss it. Okay. So fine. Okay, how much time you want to keep it open? You want some more time? No problem. So since you are requesting, okay, this is fine. Is this fine now? Still Monday 9 a.m. Yeah, mostly there will be the MCQ or some answers you have to select. Rishi, you missed the videos. Yeah, that's fine. Now don't give the reasons. You missed the classes. It's your duty to complete that syllabus, right? So all are what doing the things on time. So I can understand due to some reason there will be the issue you didn't attend it, but you cover that. I can definitely sure that you will be able to cover that. Fine. Not evening, 9 a.m. Not evening. No, 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 no. Now I will not change. Otherwise, if you're not ready, I will keep the previous time only. If you're not ready to attend still this, I will change it back to this. Is this fine? So I am extending, but you have since you will be like still night of 11, then it's too much time now, guys. Is this fine? I think this is enough, more than enough. Still Monday morning 9 a.m. Fine. So all the best for the exam. Don't miss it. Okay. Now regarding the project. So we once I started the project, okay, actual implementation, by after covering all these peripherals, so I will talk about this. Fine, don't worry. Adike, you please post your query in the LMS or even screenshot if it is possible. Okay. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, there is no class. Even I wanted to start the next topic, actually, matrix keypad. But the thing is, what I will complete the few things in today's session. Then again, there will be the 2 days gap, so we will not be having continuity. So I will cover that topic in the next class. Fine, on Monday. So join the class on time. Fine, everybody. So that's okay, Mohammed. If last test was not given, you please go through the this remaining all the tests, perform well. Fine. Yes, Abhishek, all the sessions of microcontroller are recorded and already updated in the LMS. Also, even the same classes are available on the YouTube. Just search for it. Rishi, if you got the mail regarding the meeting, yes, there will be the meeting. You do attend that meeting. Whatever mail you got, you please go ahead accordingly. So in the test, yes, there will be mostly there will be the MCQ. I'm not aware with the timing, Rishi. That's fine. You whatever mail you received, you please perform accordingly. Okay. Shalom. Any other query? And all the test results will be declared at the end. You will see your entire performance at the end of your internship. Fine. Shantana, that's fine. If you're not submitted the C assignment, that's okay. No problem. So you please focus here what we are studying. Okay. No, it's not possible to open the test one. No, I'm so sorry. It's not possible. Okay. Yeah, mostly I think those self C assignments were for the self learning. If you're not submitting, no problem, no issue. Is there a test tomorrow? What, Priya? That's what we are talking from the last 10 minutes. Okay, anyways, fine. If you have any query, post it. But anyways, about the test link, about the timings I already mentioned. So I will even keep an announcement. Fine. Okay, everybody. Thank you. So let me close this class for today. Thank you, everybody.